different types of minerals are found, right? And we learned the
Yes, sir.
uses of these minerals also. Many of the metallic minerals which are there, we learned their uses also. So these are the things that we did in yesterday's class. So next, what we need to know is we need to know how are we going to conserve the minerals. Conservation of the minerals is a very important part because these resources are non-renewable resources. Most importantly, these resources cannot be renewed and they are in a limited quantity on earth. So the more we use it, the more ways we need to know so that we can recycle these resources. Reducing the usage, recycling them, and reusing these resources, these mineral resources, are all part of a technique which we call as conserving of the resources, conserving of the minerals. So, use of alternate sources of energy like solar energy, hydroelectric energy, wind energy, different newer sources of energy which are more abundant in nature and more unlimited. These things we need to start using. We need to have sustainable development, means development also should be there, but a development in a way wherein we can have a better future, we can sustain our way of life. That is called as sustainable development, using mineral resources with greater efficiency and to see that there is no wastage. This is called as using it with efficiency. Use renewable sources of energy. Avoid over exploitation of the mineral resources. Sometimes what happens is when people start mining, we people are very greedy. We start mining more and more and more, and the more we mine, the more we exploit nature. And with this exploitation, what is going to happen is the resources start depleting and there is no more resources left. We destroy nature also in that process, in the entire mining process. Use of biogas as a fuel for cooking instead of non-renewable sources of energy, that also can be done. Reuse and recycle of minerals and their products using minerals in a planned way. All these things we should do so that we can conserve minerals and so that we can reduce, recycle, reuse. That's the most important part of conserving minerals. So about minerals, is it clear to everybody? Does anybody have any doubt? Okay. So next part of this lesson is about power resources. Power is one of the most important part of our daily life. Without power, you cannot even imagine a single thing that can be done in your house. When you wake up in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that you do?
Brush our teeth.
Brush your teeth.
Brush our teeth.
Yeah, and for that brushing of your teeth, you require water.
Yes, sir.
And from that water comes from a tap.
Brush and paste.
That water
Yes,
comes from a
sir.
tap, is it? Correct, na? And the tap is
Yes,
connected
sir.
to a overhead tank.
Yes, sir.
How has that water reached that overhead tank?
Yes, sir.
By power. There is no water pump is not there. We will talk about the school reopening later. Okay, please concentrate on the lesson that I am teaching right now. I hope that is fine with everyone. Whatever decision about school starting is there, it will be announced in the app. Hmm? Okay, yeah. So my question was, how has that water reached the top?
Sir, the water is in this tank and is connected to a pipe.
So from your well or from your corporation, whatever this thing, it has been pumped using a water pump to the overhead tank. From there, every day you get running water in your homes. Correct?
Sir, like example, motor.
Correct. Now that motor runs on electricity.
Yes, sir.
So if electricity would not have been there, then you would not have a use for overhead tank. There is no way to pump water to overhead tank.
Yes, sir. It will not come without electricity.
Correct. At night when you sleep, do you use the fan or don't you use the fan?
So we
We use because otherwise it gets hot.
and sir, we will not use fan.
We will not use fan. I think majority of people will use the fan.
Sir, very cold.
Very cold. Okay.
Also,
Some places would be cold, but still mosquitoes would be there, so you require fan. Correct.
yes, sir.
For that also you require electricity. So it is almost actually unimaginable. You cannot. Once you go to your kitchen, you wait for breakfast. For cooking that breakfast, you need gas. For making tea, you need gas. If
Yes.
gas is not there, otherwise some kind of firewood you have to use. So each and every part of our house, we have some source of energy for doing normal daily works. Without this source of energy, even if it is a normal firewood for me or to light that stove to make your tea, it could be something as a firewood, it could be a gas stove also. Either way, fire is required for cooking your food, for making your normal tea also, for boiling water also. Without this source of fire, without this source of energy, without this source of power, we cannot imagine a single day in our life. What would happen if all these power sources one day suddenly disappear?
It will be very difficult to do work.
It would not be difficult, Spandana. It would be almost impossible to do. You cannot even imagine. That is how the situation would be. So, power resources, these play a very vital role. Vital means an extremely important role. Extremely important. Not only important, it is extremely important. Power is
Sir,
used
we will be
everywhere.
confused what to do.
Correct. Power is used everywhere and for different purposes, right from industries, agriculture, transportation, communication, even your small household, everywhere power is used. Power is categorized into conventional sources and non-conventional sources. Conventional sources are those sources of power which we have been using for many, many years, for thousands of years before. Firewood, coal, petroleum, natural gas, hydel power. Hydel power is using the source of water as power. So firewood is something which has been used for centuries, right from whatever we remember in our history, we have been using firewood as a source of power. Coal mining has happened so that coal can be used. Petroleum, till more recently, where we found that there is a lot of petroleum deep hidden inside our crust, Earth's crust. From there, we can remove this petroleum, and it has been used. Crude oil, that is called as natural gas, is something which is hidden between the rocks, again under the surface of our Earth. From there, it can be removed, and it is used. Hydel power is using the power of water as a power source by building dams. So these are all conventional sources of power. See, firewood is in common for long wood, firewood and fossil fuel. And its uses normally it is used for cooking and for heating purpose, firewood. In very cold countries where it is extremely cold, where we have seen snowfall, these kind of severe cold conditions, there they burn firewood so that they can heat the house or they heat their surroundings. So it is used for cooking as well as heating purposes. So 50% of the energy used in villages, it is got from firewood. Advantages are it is very easy to access and it provides energy to a large number of people, very easy to access. You don't have to search very far for firewood unless until you are living in a desert. Disadvantages are collection, it is little time consuming to chop and collect firewood. It is polluting, of course, it is very polluting because burning firewood uses lots, comes.
So it is also deforestation.
Yeah, correct. That is there. It is there on your screens right in front of you. Polluting because it causes lots of smoke when you are burning firewood, and with this smoke, it heats up the environment, which is called as a greenhouse effect. Heating up of the environment, it is called as greenhouse effect, and deforestation because we need to chop down trees, lots of trees, so that we get abundant amount of firewood for using. Fossil fuel, on the other hand, is like coal, petrol, natural gas, all these things which have been removed out from the earth's surface, from beneath the earth, and can be used. That is fossil fuel. Most common fossil fuel that we see in use is petroleum.
Coal.
Coal also, petroleum also. Petroleum is more widely used in vehicles. In most of the areas, you will see petroleum being used. Coal used to be used earlier, but now the usage is coming down slowly and slowly. So this petroleum, it is actually in the crude form when it is removed from the earth. It is a thick black liquid. Okay, that is how petroleum looks. It is called as crude oil. It is this word petroleum has come from two Latin words, which is petra and oleum. That is rock oil, oil which is being extracted from the rocks because it is hidden between rocks which are beneath the surface of the earth. And it is also called as black gold because that is how precious it is. This petroleum, it is limited in quantity, it is not unlimited. It will soon, one day, it will get over the amount of petroleum that we have. Yes, sir.
Petroleum was created by the decomposition of the dinosaurs and other animals after the earth got destroyed.
Earth did not get
That is
destroyed.
fossil fuel.
Earth did not get destroyed, but lots of animals, yes, millions of years ago, whatever animals and those big trees and all this, whatever has died and slowly, have got crushed, pressurized under the surface of the earth over a period of millions of years, not even hundreds of years, not even thousands of years, but millions of years. So all the old dinosaurs, all the old animals, all the old plantation, whatever has got destroyed, has died, has got crushed over a period of million of years. That is what is actually now converted into petroleum, what is available under the surface. That is the source. Conventional sources of
Sir, that is fossil fuels, no?
petroleum is a fossil fuel. Fossil fuel is a broad name which covers coal. It also covers petroleum. Both of them are fossil fuels. Okay. Yeah. This is referred to as black gold because that is how much precious it is. Gold is a precious metal. And since petroleum is black in color, it is referred to as black gold because it's very precious and in limited quantity. It is trapped between layers and layers of sedimentary rocks, and to remove it, it has to be drilled from the surface of the earth. And also, there are oil fields which are located in the ocean, in the sea. They are called as offshore oil fields. If the oil field is located on land, it is called as onshore. If it is located in the ocean or on the sea, it is called as an offshore oil field. Most of the majority producers of petroleum in the world are the Middle Eastern countries. Lots of large quantities of petroleum is found in the Middle Eastern countries. USA, Russia, Algeria, Venezuela. Yes. What happened?
Sir, in which country petrol was found?
Which country?
Sir, in which country the petrol was found first?
First, I do not know exactly first country which it was found, but if I'm not mistaken, it would be the Middle Eastern countries only where it was first found, and it was found in large quantities. And then drilling also happened in the USA around the same period in the area which we call as Texas. This place where again petroleum is found in large quantities. In India, we have Big Boy in
Yes, sir.
Assam, Mumbai, and the deltas of the Krishna and Godavari basin, where we have little amount of petroleum. It is not a very large deposit of petroleum which we have in India, a little smaller quantity, but it is sufficient for us to use to a certain extent. But majority of our petroleum we always import from Middle Eastern countries. So that was about petroleum. Coal also was formed millions of years ago, and you can see this photograph. That is, what is that?
Then at first it was formed. That is came.
Correct. Millions of years ago. So that is why these are all limited resources. Again, for coal to get produced, it will take another millions of years. The amount, we are consuming it so fast, we will not have coal for another millions of years. So domestic uses of coal are, it is used heavily in the iron and steel industry. It is used for running steam engines. It is also used for running thermal power stations from which generate electricity. The power station in Karnataka, which we have in Raichur, from that is one place where majority of electricity we get. That is a thermal power station. By burning of coal, electricity is generated. Its uses are for thermal power. It is also called as buried sunshine. Since it is used for heating purposes, that is why it is the name sunshine. And since it is buried in the surface of our earth, it is called as buried sunshine. Largest producers of coal on our earth are USA, Russia, Germany, France, South Africa, China. These countries produce coal in large quantities. In India, we have Jharia, which is one of the largest coal fields, Raniganj, Dhanbad, and Bokaro in Jharkhand. These places are very large producers of coal. So, is this part about petroleum and coal understood by everyone? Anybody having any doubts?
No, sir.
No doubt.
Okay. Okay. Another type of fuel which we get from the surface of our earth, it is natural gas. It is found along with petroleum deposits, and normally it is released when crude oil is brought to the surface. This is trapped in the form of gas in between rocks where in petroleum deposits are found. So this can also is also used. It is mined. It is taken out from the surface and it is stored in cylinders. This natural gas. The top producers are the Netherlands, Norway, UK, and Russia. It is found in India at the Godavari Krishna Delta, Tripura, Jaisalmer, and Mumbai. These are the places in India where it is found. This photo that you can see on your screens over here, this is actually Bombay High, which is about 110 kilometers away from Mumbai city in the Arabian Sea. And from here, the drilling for natural gas happens. They drill it under the surface of the ocean. From there, they remove the natural gas. It is comparatively lesser polluting as compared to petroleum. It is a little bit eco-friendly because it does not heat the earth's surface to the extent that petroleum does. So compressed natural gas, it is called as an eco-friendly automobile fuel because the pollution that it causes is much more less as compared to petrol and diesel. Okay. Next we have hydel power. Hydel power is rainwater or waterfalls in dams fall from heights on turbines and it moves. See, if you have any time seen a dam, you will see that the water is released from the dam from a very great height. And when this water falls to the lower portion of the dam, in the lower portion of the dam, there are turbines. Turbines are huge machines which will move once the water falls on the blade of the turbine. And with this movement, it will generate electricity. That is how electricity is produced with the force of which water falls on that turbine. So one fourth of total of world's electricity is produced by hydel power. And the leading producers of hydel power are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil, and China. In India, we have hydel power stations in Bhakranangal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar, and the Damodar Valley. These are located in different parts of India. The name of the states are there in your textbooks also, from where hydel power station, hydel power is produced and sent for, it could be sent for industrial use, also sent for domestic home use.
Sir,
Yes, Vaibhav?
sir, oil and natural gas was produced by water animals.
There are all kinds of animals in this Vaibhav, not only water animals. Sumit is asking whether hydel power wastes water or no. Hydel power, there is no wastage of water. In hydel power, there is no wastage of water. Just the movement of water is used for producing. So the
After
water,
producing agriculture,
yeah, that water can be directed through canals for using in agriculture, or it will just flow in the normal course of the river. There is no wastage of water over here. Okay. Yeah. So the non-conventional sources of energy, these are the newer sources of energy which are coming up, which have not been used because the technology for using them was not created.
sir, means in future.
It is being developed now, it is being used now by more advanced countries, and maybe in the future we will also start using it because these are more better to use than conventional sources. So increasing use of fossil fuels is leading to a shortage because these are not renewable and they are limited in quantity. So the amount of coal that we have, what's that?
Sir, potential issues is also, sir, two disadvantages is there. Sir, one disadvantage if fossil fuels are finished, sir.
Fossil fuels are almost getting exhausted. Yes, correct.
Sir,
So,
only two.
hmm, only two.
Sir, first we will not get that only is finished. Sir, there are many plants that are going to decompose, not decomposed yet.
Correct. So then what will happen after the decompose?
Sir, after it will decompose, then till the end of the year we will take all that. Sir, we will have all not use only of that.
Absolutely right. Correct. Because it going to take millions of years for that decomposition to happen and for them to actually produce. So if consumption continues, the reserves will get exhausted. Whatever reserve petroleum coal we have, that is going to get exhausted. Will get over the way in which we are using. So there is need for the using of non-conventional sources: solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy. All these are absolutely renewable sources of energy and are going to be the future sources of energy for us. Solar energy.
Sir, one association is for that, sir.
What was that,
Sir,
Spandana?
that petrol reserve association in India is there, no? Sir, that association, sir, they will take matter.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so solar energy, we can use it for solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers. Now there is also lots of research being done which can be used for running our vehicles and cars, solar energy. So the advantages of non-conventional sources are it is inexhaustible, it is non-polluting. Means there is a constant source of energy through solar, through wind. It is not going to get over anytime. So it is inexhaustible and most importantly, it is not polluting. The disadvantage is at present this technology is expensive and the way in which we are using it as of now, there is again wastage which is happening. Solar panels which are there, they have a particular life for which they will work. After that, these solar panels need to be discarded. This is again another pollution which we are going to create. Non-conventional sources of energy, Sumit, is those sources of energy which we don't use regularly now. These will be used more in the future as technology develops for using these sources. Those are non-conventional. So over here, you can see a small diagram which shows solar energy being used.
Sir, nowadays all the people are using solar energy in summer season.
See, the only place where solar energy presently is being used in the houses is for heating water. Other than heating water, that too not all the houses, very few houses are there which use this. Other than heating of water, you will not see other parts of your house being run on solar energy. The technology needs to be developed and it needs to be made little more inexpensive, affordable to all people, wherein the entire house can be run on solar energy. In fact, our entire school which is there, that also if there enough technology is developed and made more affordable, entire school you can run only on solar energy. That also can be done. It is not impossible. Only thing, it will take a little bit time for that technology to get properly developed.
Yes, sir.
So over here you can see on top of that house, no, there are solar panels, and these solar panels they contain those small squares. They contain solar cells. So when the sun, the light of the sun shines on them, no, these cells they capture that. They capture that as a source of energy, and from there it goes to a device which will power the entire house as electricity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
There are solar farms like this what you see over here, no, in the same way, solar farms are being developed. In fact, whatever barren land are there, barren land where agriculture cannot be done, the soil is not of good quality for doing agriculture, in those barren lands the government is setting up these kind of solar fields. There is one very large solar field which is set up outside of Chitradurga here in Karnataka, one of the biggest in India, that solar field is,
Yes, sir.
that produces lots of electricity, which can power almost half of the state of Karnataka. That much of electricity is being produced from there. So in the future, more of this will get developed. Okay. Any doubts about solar energy?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, good.
No doubt, sir.
Very good. Wind energy. Uh, outside of Belgaum, just outside, if you go, you would have seen these huge windmills.
Sir, but if the problem disadvantage is that,
What disadvantage?
sir, you should do that in very high amounts of air, no?
Yes.
Sir, then we should get air, no?
The higher you go,
In higher areas, we will get more energy, more wind energy.
correct.
Sir, then here,
Where here?
sir, in Belgaum, here only, it is very less air, wind, no?
Wind is there. Most of the wind, what happens, it is blocked because of constructions and buildings and all that. That is, these things they block the wind. But if you go to open areas, there wind is there at higher levels. That is the reason why these turbines, these windmills, they are all located where there is open area and there is constant flow of wind. And such kind of places are there plenty. Plenty of such places you will get. So the wind is an inexhaustible source of energy. The kinetic energy is the energy which is produced by the movement. It is converted by the moving of these blades of the windmill. This is converted into electrical energy. And mainly, if you go to coastal areas, there is a first class, very nice source of heavy winds over there. Even between mountains and hilly areas, there also we have plenty of wind over there, which is not blocked by buildings. So that is why in these regions you will see that these windmills are located.
Sir, we can also create by. Sir, we can whenever. See, sir, in space there is solar wind, no?
Hmm.
That will hit around. That also can come, no?
That also you can use, yes, definitely you can use. But again, as I said, the technology as of now is a little bit expensive.
Yes, sir.
So this kind of energy which is generated from the windmill, it can be used for grinding grain, lifting waters since ancient times. It has been used. It has been in use. Only now we need to make it more efficient, more cost effective so that larger number of people can use it. There are large wind farms which are located in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA, Spain. Most of the European countries they are moving towards, majority of them are moving towards the usage of solar energy and wind energy for producing their electricity needs. And They are also now in a position to run their industrial areas also with these solar and wind energies.
Sir,
In
in
fact,
modern ages also they will use that.
yes, correct. In
Sir,
fact,
in Greece they will use solar boats and something.
in Netherlands is one country in Europe where almost more than 50% of their energy requirements is done through solar, through wind energy. In the sea itself, they have located huge solar wind mills, and from the moment of this, they keep on generating whatever electricity they require for their entire country. So almost more than 50% of their country runs on wind energy. Netherlands. Okay. So solar energy, wind energy, is it clear to everybody? Any doubts?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So up till now in today's class, we learned about conventional sources like the firewood and fossil fuels, which are the conventional sources of energy. And then afterwards, we started learning about the non-conventional sources of energy, the most important ones being solar energy and wind energy. So up till now, we still have a few more non-conventional sources to learn, which we will learn in the next later classes. So, but these are the main conventional and non-conventional. So, if anybody has any doubts, you can ask me now. It's almost over. That's fine.
No doubts.
Okay, good.
No doubts.
Right.
No doubts, sir.